Alright, two more TLX cars I've done are the regular style LPG cars, and these are complete strip down and re-lettering jobs that I've had to do. They're a bit challenging, but with a highball graphics decal sheet they're a little bit easier to do nowadays. The first one is TLX 308067, and then the second one I recently did is TLX 408908, and they're a nice little pair of the TLX cars here that you see commonly on the rails these days. So the TLX 308067 has the nice clean finish on the sides. You got the gray panel at the top around the hatch, and then all the updated LPG stencils, the vinyl cover, the safety stripes are added, blue bearing caps on the trucks, nice bit of grime effects on there, and then the custom decals. And you can see it looks really good on this side here. But pretty simple, but nice little project cars I've been doing. And then you got, of course, got the top reporting marks, which is important to have on these modern cars because now they stencil the lettering and number on the top of the tank car for the guys working up top here. So that's something important to do on these cars, but I went ahead and did that on both. On this side, again about the same. Let's see, I think they're both, no. This one is the RTR car. So the 308067 I did with the RTR car. I think this was a GATX car to start off with, but since the GATX cars and the TLX cars share about the same reporting, not the reporting marks, but the relatively the same font for the card data and stenciling, I went ahead and used these. But you can see I added the decals on this side, and then the updated stenciling and all that on this side as well, and then the vinyl cover there, which is important to have on these cars as well, is added there under the liquefied petroleum gas stencil. So that looks really cool. So that's the first TLX car. The second one is a little bit older. You can see it's just starting to show a little bit of age with just a little bit of fading, and then also it's got some rust running down from the struts, or the panels here, not the panel but the walkway supports, as you can see. And I did that with some chalk effects, but you can see on the trucks here, you got the silver tip bolts. As you can see, it looks really cool. You can see they stand out really nice, especially with the blue bearing caps. It's a nice little effect. But there's the reporting marks, got all the updated lettering, graphics, safety stripes added, final covers on there, and then there's the truck on this end. Let's see. I'll give you guys a quick look at the kick up here on this end too. You can see it looks really nice. It's just starting to kind of spray up on the bottom of the tank shell there. You can see. So that looks really cool. And then you get the nice rusty shelf coupler there. So that looks really cool. And here's this side. So there's the two TLX cars that I've done. I don't know if I'll be doing any more of these. For now, 2 is a good number, but if I get more like GATX cars or CGTX cars, I might consider doing some more of these re-stencilings, because they're not too hard to do. It's just a matter of getting enough highball graphics decal sheets. And the sheets I use are part number TC5 from Highball Graphics, which are pretty decent decals. They're really easy to use. I just don't like how they don't come with enough numbers. I don't like that. So you have to, like I said, buy enough decals to do at least 1 or 2 different cars. So that's the only catch with this, but other than that, the decals work very well for these modern cars. So you can see that those are the 2 TLX cars. I also use the decals for these as well, if you guys were wondering. So those are the TLX LPGs, though, all 4 of them. The newer cars, and then the more standard LPG or style LPG car like these. So I'll go ahead and set these aside, and we'll move on to some more hosh-posh cars, if you will. The first one I'm going to show is another Procor Athearn Genesis tank car that I did recently. This one is Prox 31822, and you can see I did some scratches on the side of this one. It's a pretty common feature on these cars. Equipment will sideswipe these and leave these big gouges and scratches on the side. So I did that with a paintbrush, and then followed behind with some chalk effects and stuff like that, some washes to do the streaking. Got the updated liquefied petroleum gas non-odorized stenciling. You can see the old stencil is starting to bleed through the paint that they sprayed over it. The safety stripes are kind of deteriorating a little bit too. You can see they're starting to chip away a little bit, and then you got the rust coming down from the platforms as well, and then a little bit from the hatch too, which is some nice effects on there. The wheels are nicely grimed up, as you can see. You got the kick-up effects also on the bottom of the tank, and then on the ends the heavy kick-up effects, the spray on the ends. on the platforms, and then leading up to the head of the tank car at the very bottom. You can see looks very nice. On this side, you can see about the same. As you can see, lots of streaking effects, lots of time and effort into just the streaking alone on this car, but well worth it in the end. So it looks really good. And then one last look at the top. You can see all the grimed up the walkways, around the hatches, around the seams there at the top, and a little bit of chipping paint and all kinds of other little scratch effects at the top there as well. So a nice Procor LPG car that'll be going into my roster here. But another, really, like I said, very, very nice LPG car. So I'll go ahead and move that on. Now this next one I'm really happy with. This is a GATX car I did. This is GATX 202959, and you can see this one is another one of the cars that got the set of new safety stripes along with the old ones. The old ones are the darker orange, and then the new ones are the brighter yellow colored stripes. And you can see I added those to the side. Some of them are starting to deteriorate a little bit too, as you can see. And then you got the updated liquefied petroleum gas stencils. Got a new wheel on this truck here. Lots of grime splatter effects on the bottom from some mud splatter, a little bit of custom tagging, and look at the streaking effects, the heavy streaking effects under the platform here. Pretty cool, huh? Did that with some acrylic paints and a lot of chalk effects, just layered over each other. Took a little bit of time, but like I said, it really looks good in the end. And then I also did some custom graffiti, kind of some fictionalized stuff here I did just for fun. Pink Floyd, good music must never die. I'm kind of a Pink Floyd fan myself, so just kind of a funny thing I put on the side of this tank car, you know, just a funny little effect there. So that looks really cool. But a nice modern GATX car here, as you can see. So there's side 1, and then if I can, side 2 here, you got about the same. All the grime effects, new safety stripes along with the old ones, and some rust pitting effects at the top of the tank shell there. But overall, a really nice car, GATX 22959. Like I said, very happy with it. Really love these older cars as they start to age like this. You can see all the rust effects, and then they put the double safety stripes. So this was one that really caught my eye when I saw the photos, so I knew I had to do it. So I got the car and followed the prototype photos and made it. So like I said, very happy with it. So that's the GATX 202959. I'll go ahead and set that aside and finish this video with some really nice UTLX cars here that I've done. The first one is another one of the Union Carbide Blue UTLX cars. 951088 is the number, and I custom renumbered this one and then did some patch effects, added the new safety stripes. Again, you got the scratches on the ends and some damage on the tank shell there. At the very edge there, you can see it's torn up the safety stripe a little bit, and you got all the gouges on the side. Custom tagging, safety striping is added, and then the liquefied petroleum stencils and the vinyl graphic cover there, and all the updated tank decaling. And then on this truck here, you can see I did the bolts as well, the shiny bolts, as you can see. They kind of stick out, and then you got the rusty bearing as well on this wheel here. So that looks really cool. All the rust effects coming down from the top there. And again, this is another one of those cars that has the nice clean finish on it. A lot of these are interesting because some of them are really faded, others have a little bit of sheen, and then others look like the paint's still relatively fresh, but then you get all the graffiti and all the rust kind of showing on them. So these are interesting in their own respect. I really like doing these cars, and I was fortunate enough to get another set of these from a friend of mine who sold them to me for a really good price. So I did some rust pitting effects, if I can get this focus. I did the rust pitting effects at the top of the tank as well, and around the hatch. And then I did the kick-up effects on both ends, and then you get the splatter effects too from the mud splatter. So that looks really cool. And on this side, about the same. There we go. As you can see, just some nice bit of tagging. The safety stripe is starting to peel off a little bit. And then the LPG stencils and the trucks, all the mud splatter on the bottom there, all looks very nice. And again, I kept the rims of the wheels clean, very important on these. So that's the UTLX 951088, nice clean car, very nice, and a good representation of the real car. So really like these, like I said. And I got one more that I'll go ahead and show you guys to wrap up this video. And this one I'm really proud of. I'll go ahead and bring her into the photo or shot. This is UTLX 951080, and this is one that's a little bit dirtier, and it has a good bit of black patches on the side here. whatever they did, whether it was tank repair or covering up some old graffiti, they did these black patches on the sides, and then a blue patch here where the old hazmat contact number used to be before they replaced it and put it there. And then you got the updated LPG and non-odorized stencils there. All the grime on the trucks as usual, all the rust streaking and everything running down from the top of the grab irons and the walkways and around the hatch and everything else. Again, this one is custom numbered, and you got all the grime on the trucks and all the kick-up as well. And there's the kick-up effects on this end. And then on this end, as you can see, quick look at the top there, you can see all the grime. See, it looks really, really nice. Oh, and also it's got the replacement hatch at the top too from a regular black UTLX car. I thought that looks really cool. That's a nice little variation. And then on this side, you can see you got the graffiti, vinyl cover on the bottom, LPG stencils, a whole 9 yards basically. All the rust streaking and everything else. So nice, clean, modern car with a lot of the rust and the graffiti. So another nice representation of these. And like I said, I'm a sucker for the Union Carbide blue cars. These are always really cool, and I'll be holding on to these for some time. I'm going to probably get one more of these if I can find one anywhere, so I can do one more variation of these, and then I should be able to say that I'm done with modeling the Union Carbide cars, and then move on to just some more further builds on the modern the TLX cars, like I said, and just doing a lot of renumbering projects. So like I said, these came out really good. I'm really happy with them, and they look really nice. So these are the Union Carbide cars that I'll go ahead and show one last time, and I'll show the GATX car. So those are the efforts I've been doing on all the modern LPG cars I've been doing. Like I said, I'm very happy with how those came out. But that pretty much wraps up the video for the cars that I've done, and I got one more interesting item that I've been working on in terms of scenery. And I know I showed some pictures on Facebook, so you guys might already know what this is, but it'll be an interesting little thing I'll go ahead and show you guys to kind of wrap up this video. I've been working on and off on a new module. So here it is, right? What I did here, unlike the last one, which was just nothing but foam, I did a plywood base, a nice sturdy construction on the bottom. I put the foam on and then did all the scenery effects, and then put the rolling hill in the background with the trees and everything else. A real radical change from what I had originally, but you can see I did a lot to the scenery here. I did all the ballasting on the track, which I used, I think, Atlas Code 83 Flex on this, I believe. I also added the gravel road. As you can see, all the nice scenery effects there. And you can see the overgrown foliage, which I really made an effort to kind of build up. You can see you get some rocks and everything kind of starting to mix in there too, which looks really cool. Some tires that were just thrown on the corner there. Some bushes, some, like I said, just a lot of overgrowth along the tracks. And just some stuff like that. The ballasting came out really well too. I used some Woodland Scenics products for the ballast, and it all came out really good. It took a little while to secure in place, especially with the white glue dilution, but once it all dried, it looked pretty good. I tried to do an abandoned track in the background here as well, something I've never tried before, but I've always wanted to do. So you can see I put the ties in. If you can just barely see them sticking out here, they're just kind of starting to stick out. Like right there, you can kind of see them sticking out, but the weeds have all grown over them, and the grass and all the gravel starting to kind of cover them up. Got some leftover rail there, but you can see it's a nice little representation of an abandoned track running along Main 2 here on the module. And a lot of overgrowth, a lot of time went in just to doing this section alone, but I'm very happy with how that came out. You can see it's a nice little representation of an abandoned railway. Track 2 came out really good, all the ballasting, all the overgrowth. I added the old telegraph poles in the background, wired them up. Just a lot of nice little detail effects like these tire piles, some ties laying here, the tires, rails, an old pole stump, for example, sticking out, an old telephone pole that got cut down and the stump sticking out, and then the cut wire on this end here. And then, like I said, the trees, which are mostly stock Woodland Scenics tree kits. And then some of them I did make myself, like this one in the background here I made with some clump foliage and a tree kit. And then others are pre-made trees. which look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with them. But like I said, the hill, all that took a lot of time to do. But luckily, I was able to get this thing finished in time for the RPM meet, which was in Marion, like I said. But it's overall a very nice module that I built here, and it's great for putting my cars and locomotives on and taking pictures. If you guys are following me on Facebook, you've been able to see that I've been posting a lot of pictures of these cars, even the ones I showed you on this module. And out in outdoor lighting, it looks very convincing. So I'm very happy with it. Only a couple things I might do later on. I might add some more, trees to the background. But for now, it's I'm going to call it complete, and it's a nice module for display. So the only other thing I plan on doing later on too is also adding some handles, just so it's a little bit easier to carry. It is a little bit heavy, so like I said, some handles on the sides instead of trying to get under here all the time and trying to pick it up would be a little bit easier. But that's another thing that I'll do later on. But that's just another neat little project I've been working on to pass the time. So hope you guys like that. But in the meantime, I appreciate you guys watching this video, keeping up with my projects and everything else, and I hope you guys stay tuned for more, and I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on the project I do. I'll post some pictures on Facebook and YouTube as well. So also be sure to check me out on Facebook. My page is Dan's Custom Trains, and my name is Daniel Arnold. If you need to go to a direct link, you guys can message me there, and I can add you as a member to the group if you would like. So like I said, stay tuned for more as always. Thanks for watching, and take care, guys.